it's not too bad. Yeah.
Circulates the system.
You just get used to it.
Are you gonna buy something on Black Friday?
No.
White Friday?
Oh.
Why isn't there a White Friday?
Why isn't there a red Friday? No, she said White Friday.
Yellow
Why
Friday.
isn't there a Yellow Friday?
No, it's Friday.
Orange Friday?
What about an Indian Friday?
Okay, so
That's just Friday.
this, how do we figure out what this angle is right here? Plug what in?
360.
We do
This is from last chapter, not new.
the angle. The radian.
Sine inverse
Oh.
of the ratio equals the angle. Somebody plug this in. We're rounding to the 10th place.
Negative 44.4.
Dude, it does smell bad back there. My goodness.
It does. I can smell it.
That's what I said.
It's coming.
We don't have
I'm
anything.
glad.
Okay. This is not the answer, but we need it. Okay, when you do sine inverse, it will give you an answer that's either in the, it only goes from like negative 90 to 90. So it'll give you an answer in the first quadrant or the fourth quadrant. So this one is in the fourth quadrant. Negative 44.4. Okay, however, they want all the answers that are between 0 and 360. So, no negatives, basically. What quadrants is sine negative in? What quadrants is sine equals something negative in?
Down.
3 and 4. So, we do want a fourth quadrant angle, but it's got to be between 0 and 360 instead of like negative 44.4. So, what's our fourth quadrant angle? Like 44.4 is basically our reference angle. That's how far we are from the x-axis. So what's the fourth quadrant angle that stops at this same spot? Just do 36 minus 44.4. So that would be 315.6. Okay, and sine will also equal negative 0.7. The sine is also negative in the third quadrant. And 44.4 is basically our reference angle. So this is 180, so this angle will be 180 plus 44.4. That'll give us this one. So that would be 224.4. And you could check those two answers, like if you plug in sine of this and sine of this, those negative 0.7 can, you know, that's what we're saying. Sine of that and sine of that should give you negative 0.7. Okie dokie?
Yeah.
Clear? Clear as mud? Alright, it's okay if you don't quite get it. We'll do some more. We'll pick up as we go. Okay, I'm getting a little warm. Alright, number 3, sine or tangent of theta equals 1.2. So, on this one, tangent equals something positive. What quadrants does tangent equal something positive?
The first and the third.
First and the third. So we're going to need a first quadrant angle and a third quadrant angle. So both of these angles should have the same reference angle. So, you know, whatever this angle is, it should be like the same as whatever this angle is. Anyway, so plug in tangent inverse, see what pops out. 50.2. Okay, the good news on this one is 50.2 is a first quadrant angle, so we don't have to do the trick. That that we did on the last problem, where we turned a negative angle into a positive angle. That is a first quadrant angle. So that's one of our answers. It's 50.2 degrees. But we also need a third quadrant angle, because that's where tangent is also positive in the third quadrant. So we're basically, 50.2 is our reference angle. That's how far we are from the x-axis. So to find our third quadrant angle, we're going to do 180 plus 50.2. And get 230.2. So it's kind of like the reference angle thing. Do. So tomorrow's Judgment Day, huh?
What?
Because of the test.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Remember last time you guys had to retake it?
Ooh,
Some of us that are special.
Some of us.
only like,
Half.
yeah. Unspecific.
Are we retaking this test?
No, we're talking about the Bible test you guys are taking over.
Oh, yeah. That sucks.
Number 5, secant of theta equals -5. All right. Actually, I don't think we did this one last chapter because it's secant. We might maybe have done it before. What does secant go with? Secant is the reciprocal of cosine. So what you do is basically when you change it to cosine, you're flipping this. So to keep it equal, you have to flip this too. So it's cosine of theta equals -1/5. But if you do the reciprocal on this side, you have to do the reciprocal on this side. And then, so you do cosine inverse. I don't think we did that last chapter. We might have done this last year though. Possible. What did it say?
101.5.
Is that your radio station? Okay, so this one is cosine equals something negative. What quadrants is cosine negative in? Second and third. Good news, this is a second quadrant angle because it's past 90. So this is one of our answers. The bad news is it's not a reference angle. How are we going to find the reference angle? Right, 180 minus, because we got to figure out how far this is from the x-axis basically. So 180 minus 101.5. $78.5. Okay, that is the reference angle. It's not an answer, but it is the reference angle. And we need the reference angle because that's how far away this third quadrant angle is going to be from the x-axis. So we need to do 180 plus 78.5 to find this angle. So 180 plus 78 is 258.5.
I think we have like another section, so I think we might.
All right, 3 cosine of theta equals 1. What is different about this? There's a 3 right there. What do you think we're going to do about that guy?
Put it into the equation. Put it from away from the front away.
Okay.
How?
It's 3.
Because 3 next to cosine just means times 3, so we're going to divide by 3. So basically this is just cosine of theta equals 1/3. So we need to plug in cosine inverse of 1/3. Does Plumber get a tree?
What?
Of course, the one.
She got a tree?
Is that new? I thought maybe I just didn't notice it. It's like plastic looking, but it's got Christmas lights. But it's not a Christmas tree. I had a tree once. It was fake. The middle schoolers killed it. You guys might have been part of it. It's probably
So
hope.
I don't remember
You should
you
get another one.
It might have been dead by the time you guys were in there.
You should get another one.
Yeah, because you
Put it
don't
in
teach,
that corner.
you only teach like 2 middle schoolers.
Yeah.
4.
Or 4.
Yeah, it wouldn't be those 4 that would break it either.
Wait, you teach
It'd
us?
probably be like these
8th grade.
guys. Probably.
Wait, 4.
Some of Pearson's stuff?
Pearson.
No wonder.
You guys probably don't know them. Eleanor and Bella.
Oh, like
And-
people. I thought you said classes.
Wentworth.
Who were your favorite 6th grade students? In 6th, when you were in 6th?
In a. Not applicable.
Didn't we have Mrs. White in our 6th grade?
What?
Like in 6th grade?
No, remember.
Did you miss us when
Where
we were in
the-
middle school?
Absolutely. Cried myself to sleep every night.
I knew it.
But then he came back.
No, we came back.
Dude, I'm so random on that teacher.
Okay, does anybody plug this one in the calculator?
It was like
Yeah,
70.
70.5.
70.5. Okay. What quadrants is cosine equals something positive? First and fourth. This is our first quadrant angle, so that's one of our answers. And it's a reference angle, because that's how far it is from the x-axis. So 70.5 is one of our answers, and our other answer is going to be 360 minus 70.5, which is 289.5. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. It takes a little bit of getting used to.
When's the last time you've seen your math teacher from high school?
Actually, she's in the same, sounds bad, she's in the same nursing home as my grandma, so I saw her last Thanksgiving. Mrs. Keplinger. I still have memories of her sometimes I'm like, how did she teach this? It's been a while. I had more than one, but she was the one I had the most, put it that way.
Was she a good math teacher?
Yeah.
Did you learn a lot?
She was good.
Was she better than you?
Possibly, yeah.
We should have a guest visitor. Did you call her from the
He's in a
nursing
nursing
No. She's got memory loss.
My old teacher was a girl,
Do you
and
think she's still
her like
remembers
classroom was
most
like
of
decked
it?
out. I would do and stuff.
Probably on a good day, that's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, what do you guys think I'm gonna do?
Subtract 6 over.
Subtract 6 is correct. Divide by 5 is also correct. So it's gonna be secant of theta equals -6/5. Alright, when we had these weird ones, remember how we did this last time?
Inverse.
We flip it. We flip it. So cosine is this flipped, so you need to flip this as well. So cosine of theta is -5/6.
I was gonna get it. Dora.
Whoa. 5/6 when Skylar punched me in the
146
face.
What do you think, Mr. Jordan?
Last time when you guys got in trouble all the time.
What's going on?
She's being a boss.
Oh. It's like Isabel when she cut off like an inch of her hair. She's like, guys, I got a bob now.
Oh, whatever.
She said she was crying. Nobody could tell she got a haircut.
Exactly. Nobody can even tell us. She's like, it's a bob at this point.
Doesn't she have really long hair?
Yes, her hair was like down to like her waist still, and she's like, I'm a bob now. Bro.
She said she was that. She was the guy off Despicable Me.
Edna Mode? Oh, no, that's it. Despicable Me.
Wait, does the bad guy and her have a bob? Maybe
It's
there are
the
two
girl.
bobs.
She like has like a really big girl.
Edna?
That's
no,
Oh,
Incredibles.
that's
Maybe it was Incredibles then. I don't know. Okay. Has anybody plugged this in the calculator?
146.5.
Okay. So where's cosine negative at?
One and four.
In the nope.
One,
Second.
2, and 3.
Yeah, it's positive in the first and fourth. It's negative in. So we need a second and third quadrant angle. This is our second quadrant angle.
Let's go.
However, the bad news, remember this from earlier, that's not a reference angle. So we're going to have to find the reference angle ourselves. How far is this from the x-axis? 180 minus that is 33.6. And we're going to use 33.6 to find our third quadrant angle, which would be 180 plus that. So what is that? 216.6 or 213.6?
I love math.
Just kind of making sense.
No.
Nope.
No.
I'm just gonna read.
I'm glad it's going for it.
Please, pause that video.
All right, then you guys can help me with the next one. I'll just not say anything until you figure it out.
This is torture.
This one's pretty similar.
I think Gabe has this one.
Okay, add 9, divide by 6.
I do, it's cute. Mine used to do that.
Okay, I forgot my theta.
That's
Okay, you could leave it as 9/6. You could reduce it. It doesn't really matter because this is not the final answer.
Change it to,
Shh. Okay, listen. What do we do now?
Use
Sine
Sine
2/3. Okay,
And you,
I think this might be one of the parts where you guys are confused. We're gonna have pretty much two angles on all these, but where is sine equal to something positive? Up.
1 and 2.
So we're gonna need a first and second quadrant angle.
Okay.
I think that's part of the tricky. Not every problem is exactly the same. Sometimes they give you one of the angles, sometimes they don't. On sine positive, they should give us, anyways. Remember on number 1, they gave us like a negative angle and we had to change it to a positive. Anyways, now what do I do though?
Inverse.
Sine inverse 2/3.
Hold on. What do you want for my date?
Okay. Okay, this is one of the easier ones because that is a first quadrant angle and it's also a reference angle because it tells you how far you are from the x-axis. You guys follow that? So in the picture, so remember how you guys said it's these two quadrants, right? So 41.8 is a first quadrant angle That's one of our answers. And it's also the reference angle because it tells us how far we are off the x-axis.
Is the other one 180 minus 41?
Right. This angle right here, like, would be the angle from there to there, is gonna be 41.8 degrees short of 180.
138.
So it's 180 minus 41.8. What'd you say, 138.2?
Yeah.
Sorry, Willis. Willis, I never forgive you. That's why I'm your favorite. Yeah, exactly. She's actually good.
Yeah, well, at least
And Hope. Help your life? And no.
My favorite section was home.
You're excused. If I didn't, I would not. Where do you go?
Your driver is huge. Kids.
I feel like I've asked that.
College.
Did she get 3 days off
Morris.
though? Why is she gone?
Morrison.
Because I think you do. Was she visiting or is that where she's from?
She wants to go there with her friend.
Where?
All that.
That lady, her middle name.
All that.
Okay, on 13, they changed one little detail here. We're going from 0 to 2 pi, which means we're switching to radians. So on radians, remember what were the two numbers? It was like 3.14, 6.28. That's
1.5.
yeah, but we won't really. Well, I guess that can help us figure out whether it's a first or second quadrant angle. Yeah, this is that plus that gives us this one, 4.71. Okay. So what do I plug in? You do, your calculator does need to be in radians now. What'd you get?
Negative 0.98, which would just be
Negative 0.9. Let's see, where's the say to round it to? It says the hundredths place. Negative 0.9 what?
negative 9 or 0.98.
Negative 0.98. Okay, that is not between 0 and 2 pi. That is a negative angle. What quadrants should tangent equal something negative? Yeah, these two. The fourth quadrant. This is a fourth quadrant angle. However, it is not between 0 and 2 pi. So this is kind of like the same problem we had on number 1. We need to convert this to a fourth quadrant angle that's actually positive. So basically 0.98 is kind of like our reference angle. So if we just do 6.28 minus 0.98, that will tell us what this angle is. 5.9.
5.3.
Oh yeah, 5.3. Yes, okay. They probably put 5.30, but that's okay. All right. What other quadrant is tangent supposed to equal something negative? That would be this quadrant. So this quadrant, this angle right here would be the reference angle. So it would be like the 0.98. But the actual angle is this one right here. So it would be 0.98 short of 3.14. So we do 3.14 minus 0.98.
We rounded that's supposed to
Hundredths place.
Okay, 2.16.
Alright, so we got 5.3 or 5.30 and 2.1. How about everybody try number 2? We'll see if we can figure it out. What quadrants should cosine equal something positive? Do you guys know where I'm getting that question from?
Yeah.
cosine theta equals positive 0.42. What quadrants should that be in?
The left two.
Yeah, the right two. So you should have a first and fourth quadrant. Cosine inverse should give you the first quadrant.